Good morning to all. On behalf of University of Engineering and Management UEM and the Institute of Engineering and Management IEM, I welcome you all to this session, to this webinar on cybersecurity to be conducted by Mr. Nisarg Acharya, who is a professional trainer on cybersecurity. It is being organized by this UEM and the Institute of Engineering and Management IEM. Mr. Nisarg Acharya, he has got a very interesting and a wonderful background. He is a BTech graduate in computer science and an MTech in IT systems and network security. But later he completed his LLB and then his LLM in cyber law and cyber security. So this is interesting. He is a trainer of MSME and also a trainer of CDAC. He has conducted several workshops for SBI, BOI, CBI, that is Central Bank of India, State Bank of India, and several other cooperative banks. He has conducted various cyber awareness programs, conducted VA and PT for numerous IT companies and banks. He worked in the Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad, and also the Mount Abu Infrared Observatory on secure implementation of RTS-2 over RPI. He successfully managed the network of various academic institutes, especially firewall policies, network monitoring, and logging. We are all very eagerly waiting to hear from you, Mr. Nisarg, and I'm sure our students, our teachers are absolutely eagerly waiting to hear from you. So I will hand it over to you, and we are waiting to hear from you. We have heard a lot about you. We have heard that how you practically show the hackings and all other things. So our students are really, really very interested, and I'm sure that this will be a engrossing session. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Professor Atul, for organizing this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, the UEM, for providing me the platform and sharing my knowledge with you. So today's session is about we will discuss about what is cyber security, few things regarding that. After that, we will move towards the privacy parts, the current issues regarding the Google's, what are the different things over there, and we will see that what is the our social media networking, some things regarding to that, and how we can protect ourselves from such type of attacks. So we are having a limited time duration of 1 hour or 1.5, and I will give you some time after completing my session for the questioning and answering, so you can give the questions after that. So let's begin the session. So
there is a show screen button which you can kindly press.
Yes. Just a second, sir. I was just moving to that slide. After that, I started the session.
Thank
you.
It's
so
visible.
now my screen is visible to all of you. These are few data regarding the 2018 and 2019, like what we people are doing over the internet. Okay, so within a minute, we are using the internet in a very large manner. Like if we see that in a minute, in the 2018, we were doing 3.7 million search over the Google. Okay, like everyone, like almost 50% of the internet users all over the globe are using Google as a search engine. Okay, and within a minute, around 3.7 million search queries were fired in 2018. The same was increased in 2019. Now here it is the time duration of the we can say web platforms through which we are viewing the content. If we see the scenario of the Netflix, so in 2018 it was viewed 2,66,000 hours within a minute. means like 2,66,000 cross 60 users were watching the movie or like any web-based content videos over there on the Netflix. Okay, and the same was like hiked by almost 3 times in the year 2019. The same way e-commerce platform, we are spending lots of money over the internet through the e-commerce platforms. We are using various social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Tinder, Amazon. And if you see that in the 2020, okay, so in the year 2020 there was like a massive usage of the TikTok also, that was like a emerged over there. Then if we see the Netflix, it's a hike over there. Even after starting the pandemic, most of the users are viewing these things over like YouTube, Netflix, Google. So internet users is like still increasing day by day. And in this time duration, it's like a critical time duration for who are managing the networks, ISPs, and like managing the security stuff. Because most of the users are using these things, and many a times it is not possible to be present over there, like physically present is not there. Above this, most of us are using these things remotely. Like for example, as a faculty member, I want to use the resources of the college that is residing on a server. So I have to use my account, I have to use my internet, and have to connect to that server and have to transfer the data over there. Where like in another case, in our regular life, it was like we were connected to the campus internet and like we're using the data. So it was inside the network, we were inside the network. Now here we are like outside the network and still accessing that network. So somehow whenever like we are trying to connect these things from outer side, it makes more risk over there. Okay, like whenever you connect with the internet, there is a risk that some attacker will like try to see that what you are doing. They will try to capture all your packets, your network things. Like for example, if I am giving you a webinar right now, okay, and some attacker is trying to like catch my things over there, so there is a possibility that like they can see that what actually I am doing right now. Okay, so this type of things are happening nowadays. Even in the media, you have heard about the like Chinese attackers are initiating the cyber attacks on India. Okay, so it's like nowadays it's not like only like a war between the two militaries over there. It's also a war between the attackers and like defenders over there. Okay, and China has earlier already defined that they are having a cyber army. They are having a cyber army. So they are like initiating the this type of attacks with the help of them also. And they can target government websites, government facilities, and many other multinational companies data also over there. Even like if we consider that we are using Arogya Setu application for the COVID-19 tracking and all these things, so they can easily target this application also. They can for example, they want to create denial of service attacks. They can create these things over the government's website. Like for example, if I want to use IRCTC for booking my journey of the train, okay, and sometimes like if attacker is trying to attack over there, they can down the IRCTC's website also. So this type of things happens over the network. This is like a overview that what we are doing in a minute over the internet. Okay, here we can see that Facebook, Instagram, other social media, we are using it like a daily routine. Okay, and all of us are using these things. And I will show you some things like how it can be like what data they can take from your side, and like what are our informations in their hand. Okay, so basically cyber security is like a domain many persons are working in this domain. So basically, who wants to join this domain and like wants to save themselves, there are few necessary things that they know about the operating system, because the operating system is a base for anything. Like if I want to use my mobile device, at that time there is an operating system in the mobile device. It can be an Android, it can be an Apple OS. Okay, so based on that, if I am using any computer device, at that time there will be either Windows operating system, Macintosh operating system, or there can be like a Linux operating system. So operating system is like must required thing that you should have a knowledge about that. After that, it comes about the network. Like whenever I connect with the internet, I'm connecting with one network. So that at that time, it's all about the network. That like how the devices are connected. For example, if I want to make my home as a smart home, I will connect all my devices like Internet of Things devices, IoT devices with the internet. So these things are like connected with the network. So we require the knowledge of the operating system or like how it works, and the knowledge of the computer network, like how actually like network works. Basically, if we consider that like cyber security, so cyber security is just like an illusion. Okay, no one can say that they are totally secure in this world, in a cyber world, because the things are like whenever we connect to the internet, there is a risk from all the users over there. Okay, if you want to make yourself totally secure, there is a way that you disconnect with the internet. If I want to make secure this smartphone, okay, at that time what I have to do, I have to stop connecting to the internet. I will not use the wireless connections, any wireless connections, Wi-Fi networks, or I will not use any mobile data over this smartphone. Okay, if I do such things, at that time my this smartphone will be secured from the attacker. But now if we consider that if I am not connecting smartphone with the internet, there is no meaning that I say that this is a smartphone, right? Because without connecting the internet, I will not be able to use any features of this smartphone. Whenever like we purchase an Android device, first we connect our account details over there, like Google account details over there. So based on that, we start our device. So at that moment, we are like connecting with the internet. Okay. Even if you want to install any application, you have to connect with Google Play Store. You want to do any things at that time. There are like internets are like necessary for this smartphone. If we do not provide the internet, it's like basic phone. Okay. So now it is like we also want to connect with the internet and also want to make ourselves secure. So there is a way that you restrict your uses. Like for example, I want to use this smartphone for my professional work. At that time I will use only such things over there that are used for the professional working. There I will not try to use any social media platforms. There I will not make any unnecessary searches over there, and I will not try to do anything over there that can be like a reflect to my social profile. Okay, that must be for a professional use. So we have to separate both the use, that is like social as well as professional, and we have to balance such things between the devices. If we see some attacks in an India, okay, like that might you have heard about the attacks in a media. So I am just discussing few like in a quick overview. Like in the 2018, there was an attack in a cooperative bank of the Pune, Cosmos Bank, and around 100 crore rupees was transferred by the attacker. Okay, so in earlier days, for the robbery, they have to visit the bank, they have to physically go over there, they have to carry the gun and like point out at some security personnel, some accountants, cashiers over there, and like have to rob the bank. Okay, but nowadays it's nothing like that. They can easily do these things from like sitting in an air conditioned room from anywhere in the world if they are connected with the internet. So these things are like happening nowadays. If we see another attack, like there was an attack on a ATM systems. So ATM systems were hacked in the mid 2018 from the Canara Bank, and many attackers' card details were like breached over there. Okay, so they were like connected some scamming devices over there. They were stealing the details of the victims, and based on that, they were performing the transactions. So it was in a 2018, mid 2018. Then in the 2018, there was like a UIDAI, means like Aadhaar software was breached. Okay, and like we all are using the Aadhaar card. We have connected our Aadhaar card with the PAN details. We have connected our Aadhaar card with the bank details. We are using it like a very basic identity proof everywhere, right? And that is like 1.1 billion Indians Aadhaar card data was breached on it, and it was sold on dark web. Okay, it was easily available in like 500 rupees, and like anyone can use the data of any users over there. So these are the like quite major security concerns over there. In 2019, healthcare's website, that like electronic health records of the almost 68 lakh people were like breached. Okay, so these things are happening over the internet. In 2018, there was one more scam about the SIM swap scam. That was like almost around 4 crore rupees from a like a businessman residing in Mumbai, was like stolen by the attacker, and it was like a SIM swap scam. And it was like at that time, it was a very first case with this SIM swap scam, like which came into the knowing of the others also. So SIM swap was like basically they ask you to like press a button, a 0 or 1, for the confirmation that you want to start your new SIM card. And at the moment you press that button, your current SIM card will be stopped working, and a new SIM card which was purchased by the attacker will start over there. Okay, and they will get the OTP messages or one-time passwords over the new SIM card. So although you are having a SIM card in your mobile device, your network will not be there. And mainly they perform this type of attack in a night duration. So like when you like get up in early morning, or like a morning, you get a morning, most of the things you will not be able to figure out like how it happened. Okay, within a short time duration. These things are happening. If we see the recent things over there, so there was an attack on the ROK stadium, and it was like officially breached by a security researcher from the Bengaluru. If we talk about the MI devices, that is Xiaomi, Redmi phones. Okay, so those are the actually Chinese-based company, and it was found that even though you are using incognito mode in their browser, or like private mode in their browser, the data is being sent to Chinese servers. Okay, so they are like monitoring all your searches and all the things over there. So that is like a MI's things over there. Then chem scanner. There was an issue in the chem scanner, and it was found by the security researchers that it was like downloaded by the millions of users. Chem scanner, like many of us have used this chem scanner applications for scanning our document, like making a PDF and sending it to others. Okay, and it was found that there is a vulnerability in the chem scanner itself. Okay, and it was like already available in a Google Play Store. Many of the users have downloaded that version of the chem scanner, and they were able to track all your data with that vulnerability. So that was a very huge data privacy concerns were there. Then in the iPhone, recently security researchers have found that if you are using a iPhone and their mail applications, there were attacks, there were the vulnerabilities through which they can like breach the mail data of the iPhone. Okay, so we just like by default, if someone asks that like what is the secure device, okay, so first thing which comes in our mind is that like Apple phone are quite secure and no one can reach that phone, okay. But many a times this type of small vulnerabilities or like small things happens over there, and data can be breached, okay. So in this world, no one is secure. No one can claim that like they are totally secure with cyber attacks or cyber breaches over there. So all these things are like we do our best to secure our data. That is mainly like we try to maintain confidentiality of the data, then integrity of the data, that it should be as it is. There should be no change without the permissions, or like without, if we do not want to change, there will be no change. Integrity will be maintained. And the third one is the availability, that whenever we want to use the data, that must be available on our access. So CIA tried is there: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So these three things are the basics whenever we are discussing about the cyber security: confidentiality of the data, integrity of the data, and availability. That whenever we want to use or whenever we want to access, that must be available. Okay, if it is not available at that time, there is no meaning of the availability, or like having a resource. Okay, so confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and we can consider that security is just like an illusion. Okay, but we have to make sure that like what level of securities we want. Like for example, if I say that if you want to secure your phone, this phone, okay, I claim that I have a solution that no one can breach this phone. You have to pay 10 crore rupees to me for securing this phone. Whether it is feasible, or like whether it is like a proper solution for you. So it is always the question that like how much you want to spend, like behind your security things. Okay, if you consider that it is a worth, I will give you a solution. Okay, but many a times it's up to us, like how we want to secure the data. For our recent uses, or like our day-to-day uses, whenever we are using any mail services, okay, so there is a very first thing, that if you are using any Google accounts, make sure that you have enabled two-step verifications over there. Okay, this is applied to all your social media networks also. If you are using Facebook, make sure you have enabled the two-step verification over Facebook also. Same for the LinkedIn professional network, okay, and other things also, like in the WhatsApp also. So these things can help you to give an extra layer of the security. Like how? Like for example, I am an attacker. I breached your account details, that is username and passwords. Okay, so if I get your username and passwords, I will be easily able to log into your system. But if you have enabled two-step verification, there will be an extra layer of security. Okay, that I have to clear that layer also. So that's why it's like suggested that if you are not using two-step verification, do the first thing, that you enable the two-step verifications over there. Make sure that security things, or like security questions, are set by you. You are remembering those things. Okay, and always it is suggested that change the passwords repeatedly. That is like that you can remind. Okay, it should be not like I have set the password and now I have forgot the password. So on your convenience, change the security passwords over there. Whenever you are setting the passwords, always make sure that you do not the password should contain at least 8 to 10 characters. There should be capital letters, there should be small letters, there should be some special characters over there, some numeric numbers will be there. Okay, and also one thing, like many of us are using doing a major mistake, that is we are using same password for multiple accounts. Like I am using Gmail, my password is like, for example, password @123. The same password I will use for the Facebook account. The same password I will use for the LinkedIn account. So if you are doing or like following such practices, make sure that you change your practices and create your password separately for each and every application or each and every platform. I will give you an example like why I am suggesting this thing. Okay. So we have just seen these things like no one is secure in this world. Security is just like an illusion. So we are trying our best to protect ourselves so that like easily we cannot release our data and like make things our secure. Okay. Now coming to the like my statement that no one is secure. I'm just showing you one website that is have I been found. Okay. So this is a website have I been found and acharya.nisarg.a@gmail.com. Yes, it's visible now, right? So I am just checking that whether it was breached anytime or not. So I am just clicking over there. So it's showing me that oh no, it was breached one time, right? So I'm just coming to the downwards and showing you such things that like where it was breached. So here you can see that it was breached in a ixigo. There was a breach in 2019 for the travel platform, one of the travel and hotel booking platform, that is ixigo. Okay, I'm using that platform and my data was breached from there. Okay, so like now now you can see that whether I know that I was attacked or like a breached sometime, or like if I don't know, that's up to me. But already I am hacked by somewhere, like by the parties where I was using these applications. So here you can see that around 17 million unique email addresses were breached in that attack. Okay, I'm just zooming to that so that you can go through that easily. In that attack, 17 million unique email addresses and data were breached over there. And in that, if you see the things over there, like email address, genders, names, also passwords. My password was breached over there also from the ixigo. Now just assume that if you are using the same password for multiple websites, like I am using the same password which I am using for the ixigo for the Gmail. Okay. So at that time, my mail address is also breached over the ixigo and my password is also breached. So from this database, any attacker can gain the access of my email address and password using this data, compromise the data. Okay. So address is also there, password is also there. If they ask for confirming the mobile number, my phone number were also there. So almost all these things which I have shared with the ixigo were breached over there. Now just assume that if I have shared my social media profiles or like connected my Facebook with the ixigo, at that time their details are also breached by the attacker. Okay. So whenever like you are connecting any accounts with multiple sites or like any social media platforms, so make sure that like for smaller benefits you do not connect these social media profiles with other accounts. Whenever like you connect such things, there will be an chances that if this application is breached, your social media account can also be breached. For example, like many gamers nowadays in this like for example say PUBG. Okay, so many of the game players are connecting their social media accounts like Facebook, which they are using for daily life, are connecting to use that game. Now if you want to play that game, create another profile and like you can connect with that also. Okay, but it is suggested that never use your original social media profile which you are using for day-to-day life, or like sharing some things over there. Do not share such things over there, or do not connect that social media profiles with any of the accounts. Okay, now here we have just seen that like how they can get the details of you, or like if any data breaches were there, you can also check for your mail addresses over there. Okay, there are lots of possibilities that your data is like also breached. Now the thing is that like how we can make secure our things. So first thing I have suggested that you should set all the different passwords for different platforms. That is the very basic thing. Okay, now if I come to the Google's account, okay, I'm showing you something that like how Google are collecting our data, or like what they know about us. Okay, so I can say that even if you consider an example of your family member, your spouse, or your child, okay, or your parents, what they know about you, okay, Google knows more than them, that what you know, what is your interest, what you are doing, what type of things you like, what types of content you love to see. All these things Google know. Okay, if you don't say to your parents or like children that like where you are going, okay, that's okay, that they don't know, but Google know that where you are going, what place you are visiting, what searches you are doing, which website you are accessing. Okay, so these all things Google knows. So let's see some things. I just show you some things regarding that. Like for example, I'm showing I'm using one of my friend's account over there. Okay, now if we see that here I'm coming to the Google accounts. If you want to come to your account, you can come like this, manage your Google accounts. Okay, if you come to the manage your Google accounts, you will get these things. Okay, and here you can see that privacy and personalization option over there. So I'm just going to the manage your data and personalization. Now here you can see that everything by default is on. If you don't perform any steps over there, it will be on. They are tracking everything about you, they are tracking each and everything about you. So I'm just coming to the location history. Okay, so I'm coming to the location history, clicking over there and coming down to manage activity. As I clicked over there, it shows me that which places the person has visited with this account logged in. Okay, you can see that all this area of the Gujarat and some places of the Rajasthan. Okay, so here if I click on any places, like for example any place, it will show me the details of that place, like where I have visited. Okay, so it's showing that on which date, which year. So if you have not turned off such things, it will definitely show you each and everything about your location histories. Okay, so these are the things, various things over there. They are tracking you where you are. Okay, if you know or not, that's okay, but Google knows that where you are. Now coming to the other things, like activity controls. Okay, so I'm coming to the web and app activity and coming to manage activity, see the past activities. So here you can see that recently I have searched for short URL, Facebook 2019 data breach, viewed about University of Engineering and Management, Newtown. Okay, these are the searches over there. So you can see that it it is taking each and every data that you are doing with the help of Google. They are tracking everything about you. Okay, they are tracking everything about you. So here we have seen that thing. You can manage these activities. Okay, you should turn off all these activities maximum by that you can do. Even it knows about the YouTube, like if you watch any YouTube content over there, it's by default it's taking all the stuff from there also, like which videos you are watching, and based on these things they provide us the advertisements and many things over there. Many a times you have noticed that, like whenever you unlock your phone, okay, at the same moment you will receive some emails over there. Okay, why you are like unlocking a phone and like you are receiving a mail? That's because whenever like you are unlocking your phone, there will be a timestamp, there will be some things that is captured by some applications. They know that now you have unlocked your phone, they know that. Okay, and based on that they send you some content. So there is the possibility that like many of the applications are tracking that when you are unlocking your phone. I know that many of you are using Truecaller. Okay, so if I give you an example of the Truecaller, and if I open the Truecaller app in my mobile device, okay, it shows you that like which person is using the phone, who is on a call, who is like on a call right now, who has made their devices silent over there, who has accessed their phone in last a few minutes, or like when they have accessed the last their device. Okay, and above these things they are taking each and every log about your device. So whenever you install any application, they ask for the permissions. Okay, and based on that permission they access your devices. So whenever you are using Truecaller, they are asking for the permissions of the phone logs, call logs. So whenever like whomsoever you are calling, or like whomsoever calls you, they are tracking that thing, they know that thing. They dump the database, contact database of your device. So whenever like you just start the Truecaller very first time, they will dump all your contacts. Like for example, right now I am having 2000 contacts and I use the Truecaller once. It means on the very first start they will collect all these 2000 contact details in their database. Okay, and after, based on that, if someone search for any contact and if it is like in my database, they will show their name over there. Okay, so these things, like they collect these things, they access your messages, they can access your messages, whatsoever messages are there, text messages, they can easily access. So this type of permissions they collect, and like based on that they also access each and everything. Whenever you like unlock your phone, they track that you have unlocked your phone. Okay, and based on that they show that whether you have used the phone devices before how many minutes. Okay, so they are using such things. So that is also like a concern over there. If we see about the Facebook, okay, so in this type of things many of us are doing some mistakes over there, or like we can say some settings which we don't know, and we reveal some critical information about us. Like for example, if I say that if you want birthday wishes, make sure you provide the birth dates. But if you provide a like a year, birth year, there is no need for the birth year. But if you provide the birth year, you are revealing your age, you are like giving the information about your complete birth date, and many a times your birth date will be like a security question. So that can be a threat over there. Like if you see that in my Facebook recently, it's showing me that Vijay Joshi and two others birthday is there. Okay, so let's say that, like let's see that whose birthday is there. So I'm just clicking on one person and clicking on another person also. So I have just clicked to those two persons. Now if I come to the profile, okay, this is the real time, like I am showing you the like current information. So if I come to the about thing, okay, about, and same in the another profile, I'm coming to the about. So here you can see that he has like shown the complete birth date over there, June 26, 1976. Okay. Now there can be a question of the security that like what is your birth date? Anyone can get these details from your social media profile. So you should not show such things over there. Okay. Now coming to the other person's profile. He has also mentioned the mobile number over there. Okay. He has also mentioned the mobile number. Now if you reveal your personal informations over there, I know this person personally and this number is like belongs to him. It is like his personal number. Okay. And he is revealing, providing this information over there. Same way, date of birth is also over there. So this type of things we should not publish over any social media networks, even in the LinkedIn. Okay, for not for the profile professional network also. So make sure that like whatever you put over the internet, okay, like for example, if I post a single photograph, like if I just click a selfie, okay, and post over the internet, at that time it will be, even if I delete after that, it will be somewhere in the internet. Okay, it will be somewhere in someone's device. So whatever like you want to do, make sure what you are doing, recheck it, that you are sure that you want to post these things over the internet. Okay, because after that you will not be able to take back those data. Okay, so once the any data or information is like posted over there, you will not be able to get the things back. So always make sure. Now if you see for the Facebook, there is also a two-step verification. You must start the two-step verification. There is like activity log. You can check all your activity logs over there. And from the settings, if you come to the settings, there will be like a privacy settings over there. So make sure that what contents you are like showing to other persons, what the things you are posting over there. Same for the Instagrams and other platforms also. Okay. Now we have seen for the Google also, like they are collecting each and everything. Even for a single search, they are collecting the data. Okay. Now coming, giving you one more example, like how actually attackers steals the password, or like they do the actual credentials password cracking. So at that time, if you see this website, okay, I am showing you one website. This is the one website. You can see that website, like this is a login screen of the website. Welcome to stock management, and like a username and password. Okay, and many of the other websites you will get some type of login screen over there. So if I enter some details over there, I'm coming to the switching to another also, like here I'm coming. Okay, this is the similarly another website. If I enter some username and password randomly and try to connect, it is showing me that the username or password you entered is invalid. Okay, or like it can show that not correct password based on the programming over there. And like if example like someone enter the correct username and password, they will be able to log into the system. So let's try to log into that system. So I am accessing that thing. So I have just provided the username and password. So write username and password. I am getting some screen over there. Like just assume that that was like a login screen of the Facebook. I have entered the correct username and password, and I am getting the screen of the Facebook. So this is my content. That is like a basic authentication feature. How it works based on our username and password. Now, if we see the current time duration, so there are lots of phishing attacks or like social engineering attacks are there. Okay, Now if you see this website, the colors, the this linings, this fonts, this text fields, this button, okay, and this is a genuine website. I am saying that this is a genuine website. Now I am showing you one another website. Okay, I am showing you one another website. Now if you see this website, this is the quite similar to the earlier website. Both are looking cut copy, 100% similar. No one can identify any changes between these two websites. Okay, because this is the clone website of the original website, genuine website. So here, like whenever attacker wants to make a phishing attack, they clone the website. So here I have cloned the website. Okay, and if I enter any username and password over there, like for example, I am entering the username and password, like write username and passwords over there. So for that, I'm coming to the private window first and showing you that what username and passwords I am entering over there. Okay, like for example, I am entering NASA as a username and NASA as a password. I am entering the right username and password over there. Okay, I'm just clicking on the show. So I have received the login screen over there. So you all know that what is the correct username and password. That is like a plain text NASA for the username as well as password. Okay, now here this is like a genuine website which I have mentioned to you. Okay, looking the same, and this is a fraudsters website, this is a phishing website. Now if you see these two websites that are like quite similar, everything is the same over there. So how you can identify this website, like which is genuine one or like which is like a fraudsters website? Okay, so at that time if you see the URL, okay, there might be some changes over there. Here it's showing the IP address, but in your cases, like phishing websites, there can be like a different IP address. Like for example, here you can see that the genuine URL is jeinc.nasawebtech.com. There is a possibility that in some other websites it can be represented at we can say like this one. For example, this is my URL, genuine URL. Okay, now in the fake website it can be like this one. If you see these things, like here abc.com is the main domain name. Okay, this is the main domain name. Based on this, there can be a possibility that if it is available that like we can say NASSA like this. Okay, so they will also try to use such type of domains name that is quite similar to the original domain name. Okay, now you can see that one A is added over there, only a small change is there. Okay, so based on the similar domain name they can transfer the links to you. Okay, and for transferring the links, mainly they use the URL shorteners. So for example, if I want to sort the URL, so I can simply click over there, or like for the phishing website that is like currently posted over there, anyone can click over there and copy this URL, paste over there and shorten the URL. So now whenever you receive such type of shortened URL, you don't know that where you are actually redirecting to website, which website you are redirecting. Okay, and many a times we are receiving such type of shortened links in our WhatsApp or any messaging applications and like mobile devices and even in a mail also. So whenever you use like get any shortened link, never click on such links over there. If you don't trust the user, don't even try to click over there. Don't try to open such mails which is like from a untrusted person. Okay, if you don't know the person, don't even try to open that mail. Okay, so based on that, if I come to the like this Word document, okay, so here I can show that like how anyone can manipulate the links over there. So I have just clicked over there, right? If you see that there is a link also over there which is written something over there, I'm just zooming it so you can easily view that link. Okay, now if I want to add the links hyperlink over there, I'm just clicking over there. Hyperlink, so I'm adding a hyperlink over there. Address is like where you want to redirect, okay, and text to display what you want to display over there. So if I mention that, like for example, www.facebook.com/login.php, I can mention anything over there, and both the things can be different. Text to display and address, both the things are different. Here you can notice it then, like text to display is something else, address is something else. Okay, and I'm just clicking over there. Again it's showing me. I will edit the hyperlink, make sure that like what it's showing and what is the address. Okay, so address is there. You have seen that address of this link is something shortened URL, and this is the text to display. Now if I forward this document and ask you that like dear sir or ma'am, you are requested to reset your password for the Facebook. Like for example, let's assume that thing. Okay, or like you are receiving some mails from like on besides of the like from the Facebook itself, and like they are providing some things over there. So there can be a possibility in the mail also. Now if you try to click this link, okay, if you try to click this link, you can see that it is like for the security reasons I have blocked the click, then like go to the browser. But if I click over there, it's showing that short URL dot this one, right? So if you, even if I send this document to you and you open this link, you will be redirected to the phishing website. That will not be a genuine website or like website from the Facebook. Although it's looking like a URL of the Facebook, although it's looking a genuine URL of the Facebook, it will not be redirected to the original Facebook website. It will be redirected phishing website. So here is some things that like how you can avoid this type of attacks. So whenever like you are visiting any website, make sure that there should be a digital certificate over there, certified digital certificate. That is like it is using TLS, transport layer security over there. Make sure you are using the genuine URL over there. Okay, if you want to do net banking or mobile banking, always type the URL. Okay, do not like copy paste the URL, or never visit any URLs or shorten links from the message or any other platforms. Okay, so always make sure you are entering a correct URL and you are visiting a genuine legitimate URL. Okay, so make sure such things. If you enter the wrong username and passwords. Okay, like if you enter the here in the phishing site, if you enter a username and password, like the correct username and password, that will be first redirected to the attacker's machine. Okay, so if you enter a correct username and password, I'm entering a correct username and password and like clicking on an enter. So this correct username and password will be redirected to the attacker's machine. If you see that this is the correct username and password, it will be redirected to the attacker's machine, and you will be redirected to the genuine URL. So now many times we find that although we have entered the correct username and passwords, we have not gained the login details over there, like we have not gained the access of the website. So what we do, we just enter the username and passwords again over there, and as we enter the again, we will be redirected to the contents over there. So we find that we must have like mistyped something, or like some network issues will be there. But actually when you have entered the username and password for the first time, it was redirected to the attacker's machine. Okay, my attacker's machine is already running over there, and like this username and password I will receive in a plain text. So these things happens whenever like you visit any malicious websites over there. Okay, if we see the recent data breaches, you can see that from the list of the data breaches, all the tech giants, all big companies, even US military's data, all the good companies, all data are listed over there. Okay, means no one is safe in the world. You can visit this URL. I will share these things with you so you can visit and like check the things about these things. Okay, so these things are happening over there. In the Facebook, like third party applications data were breached. From the third parties, the data were breached. Earlier Facebook has also shared their data with the Cambridge Analytica for the politics, like elections of the USA as well as UK. Okay, so these things are happening. Whatever we are doing, they are like capturing these steps from us. Okay, so we have seen about certain URL, we have seen the Facebook policies, uh, we have seen about the data breaches. You can visit the Have I Been On, and you can check that whether your data was like breached or not. Make sure you are like keeping your passwords different for the different accounts, and those are like following the password security policies. Okay, if you are using, like all of us are using nowadays, uh, net banking or like mobile banking, I personally suggest that whenever you are using these platforms, always use virtual keyboard. Okay, like on screen keyboard or virtual keyboard is there. So whenever you are like trying to log in into your device, or like trying to log in into the bank account, always use the on-screen keyboard. Many of the banking sites also provide on-screen keyboard on their platform also. Okay, so always use that on-screen keyboard, because sometimes attackers enter the key scanning trojans or viruses in your machines. So whenever you type anything, okay, that will be like passed to the attackers. So whenever you type username and password, that will be transferred to the attackers. So that is suggested that you use the on-screen keyboards over there, and also change the password accordingly. Okay, and one more thing is there, that whenever you are like using such things, like for example, if I am using my salary account for the online banking and also all those things, like for example, I have connected my Paytm with my account, salary account. Okay, and I am transferring 10 rupees or 15 rupees to anyone, just to make sure that like I do the online transactions. I do not have to worry about the change. Okay, or I do not have to worry about the physical contact nowadays for the COVID situations. Okay, so if we are thinking such things like we are connecting our Paytm with accounts or like any other platforms. Okay, even Google Pay. Recently, RBI has said that Google Pay is not like listed from the RBI's side. Okay, that is not a trusted platform over there. If you see the news, you will get that article that it is declined by the RBI. So if there is any payment dispute over the Google Pay, they are not. No one will be like trained as a legal issues over there. Okay, so that can be like a major questioning over there. That like if we are using a Google Pay, okay, that is totally up to us that we are believing the Google and like using the Google Pay. Even our laws are not allowing such platforms over there, like Google Pay is not allowed over there. Okay, so other thing is that whenever we are connecting any account with the amounts over there, so I suggest that if you want to use these services for basic facilities and all other things, always make sure that you keep minimum amount to that account. Like for example, I am having one salary account, so at that time most of the transactions will be there, so I will not use the internet net bankings over there, so that like if any fraudsters or any scams can happen over there, so that cannot affect me. Okay, but on the other hand, what I will do, I will like create a new account, bank account with 5,000 rupees there in a bank account, or like 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees based on your requirement or like monthly requirements. And based on that, I will limit that account, that whenever I want to perform a transaction of 5, 10 rupees, 20 rupees or 100 rupees, I will use that account only. So even if sometimes either I made some mistake or there is some issues from the banking side, my risk is that limited to 20,000 rupees. Okay, so always make sure that like if you want to use such services, I personally suggest that you limit, you means like create your limits and always use that limit only, or like use that account only. Do not use your saving accounts over there. Okay, because like if it is breached, your total savings of a lifetime can be ruined in a minute. Okay, and I'm personally like getting these type of incidents, cyber incidents over there, and like we try to solve the cases, but these things are like really happening nowadays. So make sure that you do not use your saving accounts for such type of activities. Okay. Okay. I think now I should give you the time for the discussions, so we can discuss any questions real time from your side, and like I can give the some insight for that also. Okay. So yes, we can start that one.
Hello, Ms. Nisha. That was really a wonderful session. In fact, it was an eye-opener, to say the least. It was really an eye-opener. There are certain questions in the question panel. So I will firstly take those questions, and then I will also request you to, if you want to
Yes.
ask questions directly orally, then you may kindly raise your hands and I will unmute you so that you can ask your questions. Okay, so the first question that is there in the question box, I will read those things out. Okay, so the first question was from Professor Arun Kumar Chatterjee. Most of the bank and ATM attacks were in 2008. Does it mean there is any meaning of that? And also, does it mean that more efficient security systems are in place now?
If I talk about the early days, okay, actually there was also a vulnerability, like for example, if I withdraw 10,000 rupees and I just keep 100 rupees not over there, okay, and that will be like back to the machine, that 100 rupees not will be like back to the machine, and they will consider that user has not taken a single rupee, and they did, I means like reinitiate the 10,000 rupees to the account. Okay, so there was a vulnerability of this type of also, and based on that we get such things like if you do not take your amount back, there will be no liability from the bank. If you visit any ATM, you will get such type of notification nowadays. Okay, so that thing was earlier like happening over there. Even the things is that like not in a like early days of the 2010 or like that. Just before couple of years, some group of the like Turkey and like Israel and some Chinese person were there. So some this type of persons have tried to attack ATMs in a, like a Kerala, and they have breached the network also. They are like breaching the network itself. So what they do, like basically there is the like a authentication system in the network there. Like if I initiate any, if I enter the correct username and passwords, and like after that there will be some confirmation from the banking side that like whether the person is like legitimate, they are having the amount in the account or not, and after that that will be authenticated. Okay, or like authorized. So moreover, authorized authentication is like when I provide the pin, so it is like authorized by the bank with the help of tokens. So they have also breached that system. Okay, they have interfered the complete network. They have collected the data of the users. So we can say that like although we have like we are trying our best to enhance the securities day by day, but still we cannot say that these systems are completely safe, because few examples are there. Okay, like current days we are we have like emerged to the chip. Security chip is there in all the ATMs if you see that thing. Okay, and some of the like card providers also says that if you want to make wireless transactions with the NFC readers, you can do that thing with the amount of 2000. You can easily do with the chip. You do not have to swipe your card, or you do not have to enter your pin. Simply you can swipe the simply you can take your card near to the device that will read wirelessly, and your transaction will be performed authenticated. Okay, on the other side, they have immersed this security because there was a risk that about this card cloning. So schemers, when you swipe the card, that will be like cloned by the attackers. So they can easily get the details of that card, and they can easily make the duplicate card with the these details. And this type of schemers are easily available with the worth of 1000 or 2000 in a Chinese market. Okay, so they are using such things. So for restricting this thing, we have emerged to the wireless technologies. Now as we have emerged the security, there is like emerged the risk from the attackers. They have like developed the wireless schemers. So even they do not have to scheme the card. Okay, they can just, if I have like kept this ATM card or like credit card in my pocket, okay, and I am having that chip based card, so they have to simply swipe the wireless schemer just from my pocket, nearby pocket, and they can easily get the details. So as we are emerging the security trends, they are also like emerging risk for such things also. So there are a risk. Okay, there is a risk, there was risk, and there will be risk. Okay, so for that, what we can do, we cannot trust highly for the banking that like they will provide the complete security over there. We just have to make sure that we as an individual reduce our risk, so that even if it impacts or like it affects or like it any cyber attack or like anything is happening with us, there will be limited to that risk. Okay, otherwise there is a risk. So that is like suggested.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Nisag. Now, he has got one more comment and a question also. The
Yes, yes,
comment
sure.
is, I will request others who want to ask question may kindly raise your hand so that I can unmute you after this. So the comment was, Tim Cook, CEO Apple, in his address to the outgoing 2019 Stanford graduates mentioned that we have given away all our personal data and our privacy to the world. I take this as a comment. Thank you for that. And the question